I think a lot of people fall into business, right? You know, we operate.
Hold on. Wait. We ain't gonna just let that slide, though. You know what I'm saying? How do you just fall into business?
I think people operate from their gifts, right? They operate from their gifts. It's a natural thing, and then you start to make money at it, right?
Come on now.
And then so there's like, oh, I got to track this. If you've got a creative mind, then financial stuff may not be your forte, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're operating in your gifts and making money. You're like, I got to report this at the end of the year. I'll just report it and I'll let somebody else deal with it, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, if this is your gift, you're doing it a disservice.
Yeah.
If you're not really affording it the opportunity to grow. Because if you're not managing your money, if you're not managing it, you can't really do anything outside of that, right?
Facts.
And I think a lot of people, I always say, from a business is a four-leg table, right?
Okay, talk to us.
You've got your operations.
Hold on, wait, I'm writing this down. Hope y'all writing this down too. All right, so you got operations.
You've got your operations, you've got your marketing.
Okay, marketing.
You've got your finance.
Okay, finance.
And then you've got your management piece, right? You got to manage all these things.
Okay.
So a lot of times the people they love the marketing piece, they may love the management piece, they may love the operations piece, but the finance piece is a piece that most people don't want to deal with. They want the money, the income.
They want the income.
But the tracking piece is a different part. Ooh. And nobody wants to deal with taxes until it's tax time.
Yep.
But putting your hand in the sand is really doing that. It's still happening. The world's still spinning. You know, so I think the biggest thing is a lot of people do fall into business and all of a sudden, because I talk to them, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you know, I was starting to I keep all my receipts. I got my bank statements. It's like, but what good is that?
Come on.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't get funding because the first thing they're going to ask for is a profit and loss, a balance sheet.
Yep.
I'm like, at the least, do an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet and just track your month.
No. Yo, real quick, you guys, are you looking to change your career here in the year 2023? If so, look no further than Bethel School of Technology, the only Christian online tech boot camp in the world. According to a recent report, Black people make up just about 4% of the U.S. technology workforce. But you see, at Bethel Tech, who I've partnered with for this year, they believe that all people, including us Black people, should have access to the lucrative and fulfilling opportunities in the tech industry. Now, with their 9-month program, you'll gain the essential skills you need to start a successful career in technology. And let's not forget the earning potential. You see, according to Indeed, the average salary of a software developer in the US is around $103,000. Say what? You know, you can choose from programs like the cybersecurity and UI UX design and launch your tech career or even a tech business ignited with passion and purpose. So listen, we're going to skip the debt and we're going to invest into yourself for just 9 months that can change the next 9 years of your life. All you got to do is join Bethel Tech today to achieve your career aspirations. Visit anthonyoneal.com/Bethel or click the link in today's show notes today so you can register and start a new journey of your life. Now, you know what? Let's get back to the show because this is a good one today. Let's keep it a buck.
You say don't give them any leeway.
No, we ain't give them no leeway. We don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't expect to run a 7-figure business operating like we're making $50,000 a year.
You're right.
We can't ask God to touch something and make it excellent if we're giving subpar.
You're right. Yeah.
And so, you know, I rock with you. You know what I'm saying? But nah, Excel.
You're right.
No, now I get it. I have an Excel thing because I track on a daily basis because our income fluctuates.
Right.
So we get money every day.
Yeah.
Right? And so I do have an Excel of this so I can keep track of it quickly.
Yes.
But inside of my QuickBooks, oh no, it's thorough.
It needs to be.
It's thorough. And I pay a lot of money for my QuickBook accounts.
It needs to be. And then what I find a lot of times is people have a business that springs from their current business, like all of a sudden another ancillary product starts to pop, right?
Yep.
And then they just keep it grouped together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's another business, right? That's another business. And I see that a lot, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
So everything in this, even with people that do have a QuickBooks account, they have it all in one. I'm like, everything's operating, and I'm like, okay. My favorite line, and my cousin coined this, I think, I don't know, make it make sense. Yeah. And, you know, because, and I tell clients
literally,
I tell clients that all the time because they're like, can I write this off? Okay, explain to me how it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you can write personal things off, but I need to we need to figure out what's the business need for it, right?
Exactly.
We just got to make sure that we quantify this because we always operate from the perspective that we're going to be audited.
That's so good.
Don't hide your head thinking I don't want to be audited. Think from a perspective of if I'm audited, I got my paperwork.
Absolutely.
I got my ducks in a row.
Yes.
And not from a fear factor of I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to be audited. I always tell clients that the biggest thing is you got to validate what you're saying. If we can validate it, then I'm with it, right?
Yeah.
What was the need for you to make this purchase?
Right.
I'm thinking about going into another field of business. Okay, well, did you set up a new LLC?
Yep.
You know, we're not just going to operate it under this business, right?
Yep.
And another thing that I find a lot of times is I'll get clients who put the cart before the horse, right?
Okay, talk to us. What you mean by that?
I had a client that I was talking to a few weeks ago, and he came in for tax planning, right? He was like, he's making multi-millions in his business, and he's ready to build out a tax plan because he doesn't want to pay a lot of taxes. But as I'm talking to him, and I'm like, send me over copies of your last 2 years' tax returns. He's like, oh, that's the thing. I don't have my last 2 years' tax returns. And I was like, well, when was the last time you filed?
How you make 7 figures
Making 7 figures.
and you ain't filed taxes?
In 7 years.
So you know what that means? He doesn't value his own business. Because like, how do you make that much money and you don't want to pay what you owe? I'm not saying overpay. But I mean, if you're making 7 figures, that means you're not stewarding your money well. You just blowing the money. You're not. I'm going to say this, and people can get upset with me. You ain't paid taxes in 2 years. You ain't running no business.
Yeah.
You're not running a business.
Yeah.
What you're doing is making money and spending money. But you're not running a business. Actually, no. You're not running a business. You are literally an employee. You're self-employed.
That's a good way to put it.
You're not running a business.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, you're self-employing yourself.
Yeah.
Bad grammar. You're employing yourself. Because trust me, I don't like paying my taxes.
Yeah.
I do not like it. But when my CPA tells me, hey, you got to pay your taxes quarterly, I'm like, this sucks. But I'm like, here's the thing too, though, which I think what I want to talk to you about, because you're helping people. You're even helping my right-hand man, CJ Ners, who also has his own business as well. And you're his EA and helping him get stuff situated as well on his side of things. But it's like, I told this to all my friends. I'm like, yo, listen, you guys, it sucks paying taxes. But it's like, at the same time, the fact that I can pay taxes, that's where I get excited about.
Yeah.
What I'm paying out in taxes, at one point in time, was my salary.
Ugh. That's a beautiful thing,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I cut the check to IRS, I hate it, but I also like it. The fact that I can get the IRS a 6-figure check,
It's a blessing.
I'm like, well, look at God.
Look at God.
Because that was my salary one time.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, we can't ask God to bless a mess. We can't ask God, well, give me 10 million if we can't even steward the 1 million that we're making.
Absolutely.
And people think, well, I'm making this money. Yeah, great. Just pay your taxes, man. And I want to go back because I like practical things. Outside, I know QuickBooks is what I use. Are there any other programs that may be for bookkeeping that is cost effective for like new people who are maybe only making? Let me ask you this question, and then let's give them some other resources. Right? When should you start tracking and doing bookkeeping? Like, is it like past 10,000, 5,000 when you start the business, no matter what? When should you start?
Yeah, I think the minute you start the business.
Come on now. Okay.
You know, because in all honesty, you can start doing it yourself from the very beginning and just get familiar because you're going to have to do this all the time, right?
Yep.
So from the very beginning, and then after you start making enough money where you don't need to have your hands in every pot, hire somebody to manage it for you.
That's good. That's really good. Before I connected with mine, I went on, where did I go? It was It was an Upwork or something like that. And the lady was like, and I was a little nervous because she was cheap.
Doesn't have the fear factor. Like, this is
Right.
too
I was
low.
like, this is
Too
too
good
low.
to be true.
She was like $200 a month.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, some of y'all may be saying, Anthony, $200, that's a lot of money. But for bookkeeping, that's a lot
To manage
of work.
your money, yeah.
To categorize everything, upload everything, get everything right for my filing time. I was like, compared to what everyone else was charging me and quoting me, I was like, from that to 200.
Yeah.
My mama always said, you don't go with the highest and you don't go with the lowest. You go right in between. Because the lowest, you're going to get low work.
Yeah.
The highest, you're going to get too much work.
Yeah.
That middle, you're going to get it right. You're going to get it right. And I was like, $200, that's it?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. But I mean, there are places to where you can hire someone.
Yes.
To do it. And do you recommend, okay, answer this question. What's a good number? It's like when they're making, and maybe I'm off, but I think right around on your side business, we teach build a personal brand here or start a business, brick and mortar, whatever it is. I think when you start making above, you know what I'm saying? What's that number? About $50,000?
Yeah, $50,000 is the
Gross.
sweet spot. Yeah.
You need to hire somebody.
Absolutely.